Hey, what's going on? Illegal Mist here. Today, we're going to be talking about my favorite Void Legendary in the game, Cardiel. Cardiel is a champion that can carry you early, mid, or late game, and is able to shine in both PvE and PvP. If you guys want to learn how to get the best out of your Cardiel, make sure you watch the whole video. You can see I run a team with Cardiel for Clan Boss, but I would say this is probably one of his weakest areas of the game. That being said, he still helps my team put up 155 mil on Nightmare, and I'm able to get over 100 mil easily on Ultra Nightmare. One of the things that makes Cardiel so great is his ability to cleanse and place block debuffs on the same skill, as well as having an ally attack with increased crit rate and increased crit damage. For this Clan Boss team, he's essential for giving us the ally speed in all battles, as well as increased crit rate, so that my champs only need 70% crit rate, and he cleanses and places a block debuffs. He makes this team affinity friendly, as well as increasing our damage with the ally attacks. For Cardiel's A1, he's able to attack one enemy, and then he heals all allies by 7.5% of their max HP. He's also able to place a True Fear for one turn if the target is from Demon Spawn, Undead Hordes, or Night Rev. I think this is a pretty underutilized ability because it says places a True Fear for one turn, meaning it's a 100% chance to proc, and the target needs to resist this skill. Great for going up against candies or duchesses that have low resistance in arena. If this skill gets fully booked, it comes out to about a 9% heal for all allies. So while it's not the best heal in the world, it heals every ally by 9% every time he uses his A1. This skill synergizes super well with his passive as well, so you get a lot of healing even if he's not necessarily taking a turn. His A2 is phenomenal. It removes all debuffs and then places block debuffs and revive on death for 2 turns. The revive on death cannot be removed, which makes this skill super useful for going up against champions like Outtro in arena, where they can remove all of your skills. While this one's in protection set, I have another Cardiel that's not in protection, and the revive on death has stopped me getting block debuffs on champions multiple times because it can't be removed. Being on a 3-turn cooldown, this is fantastic for Clan Boss as well as general PvE content. His A3, Heavenly Host, places increased crit rate and increased crit damage buff on all allies for 2 turns, and then he teams up with all allies to attack one enemy. The cool thing about this skill for arena is if you use it for a blender comp, or you get lucky and you kill the enemy, it'll decrease the cooldown of this skill by 1 turn, making it a 3-turn cooldown. While not always useful, it is something that's really nice to have if you know that you can kill an enemy with the ally attack, and you'll get that skill even faster. Again, his 2 most essential skills only take 3 total books, so you can get pretty lucky when you book him out, and you only use 3 legendary books to get pretty much all of the effect that you need on this champion. Another thing that makes Cardiel so top tier for arena is his passive. Most people don't know this, but he reduces 20% of the damage from Demon Spawn, Undead, and Night Revenants factions. Super useful again for going up against teams with Candy or Rotos. He also has a 15% chance to team up with his allies to use his A1, and his A1 will heal his teammates by 9% of their health if it's booked out. So essentially, if Cardiel's not placing block debuffs, or using ally attack, he's healing your team for 9% of their health. And in general, he's probably gonna team up with one teammate and attack the enemy. So you get about 18% healing every time, or you get another skill like block debuffs put up. If Sicia is on the team, he'll automatically use his A1 every time she goes. The books in this skill, while they might not seem super important, increasing the chance of teaming up with allies from 15 to 30% is pretty substantial, and it definitely helps out for longer fights like Hydra, where you might need his passive healing. Another thing that makes Cardiel so amazing for the arena is the fact that he has this passive. When he goes up against Ramantu will place block passive skills, which essentially locks out the majority of champions. But if a champion doesn't have a passive, the Ramantu will block active skills. Because Cardiel has this passive, he'll get this blocked, but he can place his cleanse and block debuffs, essentially negating Ramantu's skill. Such a useful champion for PvP, but he also shines extremely well in PvE and Doom Tower. Like I said, I got him early game, so I used him in every single piece of content, and he was pivotal for me getting through Bommal the first time, and pretty much every stage of Doom Tower. To show how amazing he is for Clan Boss, we can watch our run real quick. This team's pretty nice because the setup is relatively easy, and all you need to do is make sure he uses his ally attack before he uses his cleanse, and then everything else is full auto. After the first round of attacks, we just need to make sure Demitha uses this move, and then we manually click for his Heavenly Host, and then everything else is full auto. I'll speed this run up, but you guys can see how useful he is for Clan Boss. And just like that, just over 25 turns, just over halfway there, we managed to get the 1 key pretty easily. The awesome thing about this team too is I've forgotten to set the ally attack up in the beginning with Cardiel, and I still managed to get a 2 key out of it. So even when you screw it up, it's still a solid team. Alright, as you can see, Cardiel was putting in the work with the ally attack. Obviously Turvold's our main damage dealer here, but the cleanse and block debuffs by Cardiel is super nice. He really brings the team together. Fantastic champion. Definitely not a team I would recommend if you only have one Cardiel and you just got Lydia, but seeing as how I'm at the point now where my Lydia doesn't do too much, and I wasn't able to build a 1 key team without Cardiel and Lydia. I thought it was a great team, and yeah, it's super fun. You can see the damage is crazy. So I pretty much have all of my dungeon teams set up, and realistically, if you have a Cardiel and you're not endgame, he can slot into any team. The revive on death is super clutch, so you can kind of use him as a reviver if you have it on the 3-turn cooldown, because it's up for almost every turn. If you make him exceptionally fast, then he'll be great for that as well. But I use him a lot in Doom Tower. We can kind of go through and see one of the teams that I primarily use him for. This is my high resist Cardiel, and I have him in a team. Again, it's a super endgame team, but the idea behind the team is a lot of buffs and Cardiel coming in with the cleanse in case Seer can't one-shot the waves. The concept here clearly is a late game team, but for anyone that's not late game, the rules apply where he's giving you the block debuffs and cleanse, and he gives you an ally attack, but just super useful. I've tried multiple teams with other champions that give buffs, and it just doesn't work the same because, you know, he's that kind of like the position that the oh crap, like you know, someone resisted something or something didn't go quite as planned. He'll place the cleanse and block debuffs and the revive on death in case something bad happens, and then, you know, everything gets back on track because of him. Just like every time I would try and take him out of the team, somehow he would work his way back in, because just the healing and everything that he does is so pivotal. And just like 4 buffs is fantastic for Seer as well. So you can see the team is just fantastic for clearing the waves. Okay, now that we made it to Bommal 10, we can kind of talk a little bit about how he's useful for Bommal as well. When I first went up against Bommal, the teams that I primarily used had double Vogoth, so I can probably make that team really quick and show you all. So I used a team similar to this. I might have used Jareg instead of one of the Vogoths, but I don't have them built anymore. So just to kind of show you how this team worked, and I'm not sure if it'll work for hard, but I know I used it for normal. You can get an idea, but once we get to the boss, I'll let you guys know. We're just about at the boss now, and you can see we're almost 4 minutes in. This team was not designed to be fast, but they are designed to be super tanky. So the whole premise is that we have the revive on death from Cardiel, as well as Doom Priest being able to protect us from the stuns when we don't have block debuffs up. The 2 Vogoths will help us with the bombs from Bommal, and then Melga will help us revive if we need it. So you can kind of see similar, like how it'll go. It'll be super slow, but hopefully everyone will live. And yeah, the team isn't the exact team that I used originally, but Melga is missing a chest piece. One of the Vogoths is missing a banner. So you can kind of get the idea, and the gear on them really isn't anything crazy. So super fun team, and the revive on death just helps protect us that much more, and the A1 heals us up when we need it. So again, a perfect time for the revive on deaths that helps us keep our Vogoths alive. Even if they still want to take a nap on Bommal, they're still living somehow, but oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. Revive on death. Just gotta creep up on the boss real quick. Hit him with the sneak attack. All right, we can see clearly the team did super well, and in fact, Cardiel healed almost as much as both Vogoths combined, and double what Doom Priest did. You could see the revive on death come in clutch a couple times where we didn't even need to use Melga's revive. She was kind of a backup revive there. A fantastic team if you're looking for some inspiration for Bommal and you have Cardiel. Yeah, I don't even think the 2 Vogoths is necessarily essential. If you had another reviver or someone that provides additional healing, it'd be great too. So that's Cardiel in a nutshell for Bommal. When you are kind of beginning, we can also use a fun team like this where we have Cardiel. We're going to use both of them just because why not? But yeah, we can use the Cardiels with the Fusion Nishak and Arbiter with a reset champion. Let's see, I haven't done this before, but I've seen some videos on it, so it'll be pretty interesting to see how it does. So pretty cool team there with Nishak and 2 Cardiels. Definitely a quick run when you consider Bommal being one of the more difficult things to do as far as PvE content, but the ally attacks with this team just make it so smooth and super easy, and you can kind of see through the waves too that the cleanse and heals that the Cardiels do is just making sure the team stays up with the presets that we have. So super fun team, super quick as well. I don't know how well it'll work for the later stages, but I think Nishak has enough damage and accuracy to make it work. When we move over to Arena, we can see where a Cardiel in a PvP stone skin high resist build can really come into play. So with this team, we have Cardiel for our cleanse, and he's our fastest champion. He's in the stone skin with like 550 resistance. Outtro with a Hydra set with provoke and like 350 accuracy. Candy for our damage dealer, and then our increased attack, as well as a little bit of extra protection from Brogni in a bolster set. So hopefully the enemy go before us, but essentially what's going to happen, your Carl should in theory be able to CC my whole team, and Cardiel in the stone skin will be able to cleanse it and then place the block debuffs, and then we should go in, nuke, and win it. See how it goes. Again, Ninja with the freeze. And yeah, I don't know what's going on. They're not super fast, but you can see kind of the concept of what they were going for, and it just didn't work because the Ninja was weak affinity on the Candy. Candy got the perfect veil, and then when they hit him, Candy got boosted turn meter, and then kind of just nuked him. But Cardiel placed the cleanse. Outtro went in, placed the strip and some block debuffs. So this is an interesting team that we could go up against. Again, they should be faster than us, and Nishak could be a little interesting with his bombs on a 1 turn. So let's kind of see how this goes. I'm not sure if I'll actually win this if they're faster. Okay, yeah, so he didn't set his preset. I don't know if he would have killed me with just the 1 bomb and the bolster set on Cardiel, but you can see clearly we've got a couple bombs on each of our champions, and if he's got pretty high attack, Nishak might kill Candy as well as Outtro. So we just placed the cleanse and block debuffs. They get the poisons in, but we strip all of their block damage, and then we kind of go in, and we should be fine here. And that's it. Again, Cardiel, so good because he does that cleanse and block debuffs, and then he comes right back in with an ally attack. Placing the increased crit rate and increased crit damage is awesome. Not a whole lot of exceptionally strong teams, but again, we can go in, we can see how this team does against us. And my Candy doesn't have his presets on. But yeah, so some good use for him in Classic Arena, but where he really shines, I think, is in 3v3 because the enemy teams are much more dynamic. The first team that I have, my goal is to place some provokes on the enemy with my Outtro and provoke set. Cardiel will cleanse off the Mithrala hexes, and if they get through with the petrification, then he'll be able to stop that as well. Brogni will give us an extra layer of protection, and Candy being neutral affinity should help us with killing their Pythion and then working their team down. The second team that I have, Cardiel will give us that increased crit damage so that my Baron can nuke their whole team, as well as the other team. Their Cardiel should place the block debuffs, which won't do too much against my team because I don't have many debuffs on it, except like the guaranteed decrease defense from Baron, the guaranteed decreased attack, or the irresistible decreased attack from Necrit, and then the chance to place True Fear on Lydia. But again, you can kind of see his ally attack will potentially be really strong depending on how they're built. Yeah, so let's go in. Let's see how these teams perform. So we go in, we go first, and I think what I want to do is place the block debuffs, just so that way their Mithrala can't place the Hex on us. Actually, that being said though, Brogni will be able to place it, and I'll be able to save the cleanse, so I can go in and I can just use my ally attack on Solus and take his health down a little. So we did quite a bit of damage there, and I can try and strip some of their champs, which we did, and then we got the provoke, so they can't use the cleanse on Wither. I'll go in. I have the increased crit rate and crit damage on my Candy, and they have a buff on Pythion, so I can try and take him out, which we do, so that's great. That extra damage definitely helped from Cardiel's increased crit damage. I'll save it again just because Mithrala is going to come back around with her Hex, and I don't want to screw this up. Candy hits the nuke. They die to the Brogni shield, which is pretty funny. Throw the shields a little. And now I can place the secondary block debuffs. The Hex doesn't go on anyone, which is great. And then we can really set this team to full auto, and they'll be able to take them out. I gotta fix Candy's AI, because I keep forgetting to turn off his A3. And there we go. That's an easy win there against a pretty strong team. And then this one hopefully is a pretty easy win, as long as they don't take us out. So I typically use Necrit's protection, and then I'll place my cleanse, so that way we can get the increased attack without having Duchess get hurt at all. And then we stop the Lydia from placing decreased defense and weaken, so that kind of worked out. And then Baron's such a beast that he'll just go in and hopefully one-shot the enemy team. He does, but their team, the Cardiel, uses the Revive on Death. And then really now, because of Baron, how he works, I'm going to try and hit Lydia, because I think she might be a little weaker. Get the splash damage, take them out. Again, the Mountain King lives because of Cardiel's Revive on Death, and that's it. So we get the 2 easy wins. And then this one should be a pretty easy win too. Yeah, so you can clearly see the use of Cardiel and the power of dupe Cardiels. I mean, I use them both in 3v3 arena pretty significantly, and they both have their places where they shine substantially in PvE content as well. So let's take Cardiel into Nightmare Hydra and see how he does. We're gonna run this team. Basically, we're gonna use Sicia for the HP burns, as well as the triple hitter on the A1. We've got Krisk there for the provoke and the increased duration of buffs on our team, as well as the decreased attack, decreased defense. Cardiel goes in, and he's a mischief tank, as well as being able to do the cleanses, a heal, and the ally attack. So he's kind of like our quasi like third damage dealer in a sense, because of the ally attack. So if Sicia or Husk gets eaten, he kind of helps make up for the damage that we lose with one of them with the ally attack. Shamel's in there with a high resistance build, so that we can go against Head of Torment, as well as be another mischief tank. Mighty Ukko's in a provoke set, and his goal is the block debuffs, as well as a revive and the provoke. So his A1's not even booked out. And then Husk is just our damage dealer with the chance for provokes. The accuracy is a little low, but with Sicia in the lead, it helps him place them as much as he can. So let's see how this team does, and then I'll let you guys know once we kind of get closer to that 1 key mark. Typically this team I can use, I'd say it's like semi full auto. I've been switching my teams around quite a bit lately, so I think this is the one that's pretty full auto, but We shall see. I just don't want to have Krisk use his provoke move right away, so just gonna make sure he doesn't do that on this turn, and then full auto again. And the whole goal for this team is pretty much I want to get the Head of Torment out, and then once he gets out, we really start to just climb through and do a lot of damage with Sicia, and hopefully land some provokes. All right, perfect. Now that the Head of Torment is out, you guys can really see the power of this team. Yeah, I love when this happens. It makes the run so much easier. So we can see pretty quickly how Cardiel keeps the team together as far as the block debuffs and the heals. So hopefully we get him back and then we can get the team back on track. But it's going to be pretty close, I think. Unless the Brimstone procs, and then we should be good. Yeah, perfect. All right, so now, now we can see him bring the team back to life, hopefully. And then we should be on our way to a 1-key. Okay, sweet. We just hit that 1-key less than 20 minutes in, which is pretty awesome. We ended up losing Sicia, which was pretty unfortunate. The team's definitely not going to do nearly as much damage as they could, but we've already downed Nightmare Hydra for the week, so not too concerned. So I'll just let this one play out. And yeah, I know Head of Torment came back quite a bit, so we got pretty fortunate, but you can see it was pretty much full auto. We just clicked on Torment when it was around, and in the beginning we went for the Poison Head just because he was the weakest. But I really think, you know, you could see, especially when Cardiel got eaten, the team doesn't hold together like it should, because he's our only healer for the team, and you'll see once this run is over how much he actually heals. Shamel getting eaten was pretty rough, but without Sicia, the team really, it doesn't have as much damage as you would hope. So yeah, but that was I think that was my third time trying the team on auto, and the only difference I made this time compared to the others was I just did like one manual thing in the very beginning, which was you know, not use Krisk's provoke if he didn't need it. So yeah, that's the team. As you guys can see, clearly Sicia coming in with the biggest damage, followed closely by Husk, but she's got just such a consistent damage that I think, you know, it's super awesome having her in the lead spot. The HP burns really help in case she gets eaten. She can kind of help herself get out with those HP burns, and then the decreased defense and weaken. But Cardiel coming in, 3.8 mil healing, which is significant. You guys could see when he got eaten, the team was very close to going down, and I think I tried to manual it, but it ended up working out in the end. But he just gives so much to the team as far as sustainability, and then the ally attack comes in pretty clutch. For Brutal Hydra, the plan is somewhat similar for our team. So for this team, we have Necmo in the lead. He's in a Relentless set with high accuracy, high speed, and then good sustainability. I used him in Nightmare for a while, but now that I can use my other teams for the 1 key, I like using him on hard just to kind of give me that extra cushion. We've got Geo in a Reflex set. I have him using this ability just because sometimes the Head of Wrath will get his buffs on, and I like to have him be able to auto and take those buffs off, as well as the every once in a while the Head of Mischief, he'll be able to steal the buffs once the Head of Mischief steals them. So Brogny's coming in. He's in a bolster set with a decent resistance, so a little bit of a resist tank, but he just gives us that extra sustainability. Cardiel, this is the Clan Boss Cardiel, so he's built with high damage. He's got War Master, and you'll see kind of the damage he pumps out. We've got Duchess in there for the revives, as well as the Perfect Veil and increased attack. So if the Head of Torment comes out this time, she'll be able to help. And then Coronar, actually, he's a fantastic Hydra champion. So he's in a Provoke set. He's got decent enough accuracy for the Provoke, but the Provoke set helps him a lot with that. He's a resistance tank as well. Got low defense, but high HP and decent speed. So you guys will see this team. Again, it's a pretty full auto team. Geo, every once in a while, I'll have to go in and kind of mess with him because he's not super auto friendly. But let's take a look at the team, and hopefully we can get the 1 key. So again, the focus of this team, you know, we get the increased speed and decreased speed from Necmo to help us out a lot. And then Cardiel can come in with the ally attack in the beginning to try and help place the Provoke. I pretty much only reset this team if we don't land the Provoke in the beginning. And then Geo just comes in, places the HP burn, and Head of Wrath is fantastic for us. So we don't mind the AoE attackers here. So we get the Provoke, and then let's set it to auto and kind of see how it goes. Oh, and one thing you guys might not have known is that the Provoke set will actually put Provoke on through the Poison Cloud. So it just makes Provoke an exceptionally good set for Hydra. I really recommend you guys use it on some of your AoE champs that maybe you don't know what to do with them otherwise. Okay, so that one was a little close, and I had to manual it a lot more, but we still managed to get the 1 key, and this was my first go at it, so I think overall, even though it was a little bit of a failure, we still managed a 1 key in 1 try. So he's at 4.1 mil damage and 4.4 mil healing as well. So again, coming in with a bunch of heals and then providing us with a little bit of damage similar to the AoE champions that we have. And I mean, you could see Necmo popping off like with, I think he had like 3 or 4 turns in a row at one point, and then Coronar getting the counterattacks every time an enemy with decreased attack or decreased defense attacks. So comparable damage. Yeah, kind of funny because the team definitely underperformed, but they still got the 1 key, so I'll take it. So here's the build for the Cardiel that I used in my Clan Boss team. He's got the 6-piece protection set, so he's got about 30% chance to protect the buffs as well as some additional resistance, HP, and speed. The nice thing about his build, again, it's for Clan Boss, but we're still at 265 speed, so you can use him a lot in other content, and he's not kind of handicapped with the speed threshold. He's got good damage, and then his increased crit rate makes him 100% crit rate for, you know, the vast majority of the time. As far as skills go, he's fully booked, and then he doesn't have any blessings right now. If I did get a blessing on this one, kind of tough to say. I might even go with Miracle Heal just because I use him in Hydra. For his masteries, because we have him used in Clan Boss, we went down War Master and got typical, you know, Clan Boss masteries where he's got the counterattack chances as well. So a great overall build for PvE content. The protection set really isn't needed. You just want him to be fast and have enough tanky stats where he survives a couple hits, and then speed I think is probably the most important thing for him. For my Stone Skin Cardiel, I have him again in a 6-piece set where he gets the 2 rounds of Stone Skin, and for his stats he's got 58k HP, 4.2k defense. Again, he's still pretty quick at 252 speed, and his resistance is 544. Might be a little bit low for 3v3 or plat, but for my account, you know, it's good enough where it resists the majority of enemy. He's got all of his books again. This one, I was able to save these 3 books, but then when I was using him in Hydra, I realized the power of this 15% to team up with a teammate, and then the A1 heals from it. So I ended up using the books on it, and I don't regret it whatsoever. This was the second Cardiel that I got, so I had already had one with the books, and you know, I didn't realize how good those books are. So if you have yours built, but you don't have books in this, I would heavily consider putting them in. It just gives you another layer of sustain that, you know, no other champion really gives you as far as like passive healing, which also puts out some damage to the enemy. He's got polymorph at 1 star, so it's, you know, I just use it because the team typically has a couple of champs in Stone Skin, and then we've got a lot of buffs on our team, and then it'll give me the extra resistance when I one day get that. As far as his masteries, I went with the extra HP as well as some extra healing. I went down and got the Lore of Steel just to get a little bit of extra resistance, and then we went with Unshakable just because he's primarily used for PvP or things like Bommal 90 where I needed high resistance on my champs. Again, a fantastic build for Cardiel because of the ability to sustain. When he's able to resist debuffs in Doom Tower hard, he's able to cleanse the whole team and place the block debuffs, and you know, there's nothing quite like everyone on your team being CC'd, and then he goes in, cleanses, and then, you know, someone like my Duchess gets perfect veil off, she gets the increased attack, and then the team starts rolling again. So he's kind of the workhorse that makes sure the team never stops. But yeah, that's the showcase I've got for you guys. Cardiel's a fantastic champion, and I highly recommend, if you guys have any questions about how to build him or what you should do with him, please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to talk about Cardiel and, you know, where your account's at and where he can best be utilized. But I might add some photos and stuff from my account when I used him early on. He was in my Brutal Clan Boss team. He was used in all of Doom Tower Normal and Doom Tower Hard, and he just carried my account straight through the end game, and, you know, I still use 2 of them. So great champion, and if you guys get the chance, definitely go for him if you have an opportunity. So this was actually my first major build that I had for Cardiel. Like I had told you guys, the main focus for him was to make sure that he was extremely fast. So at the time he had, I think High Katoon was my only champion that was faster. And he was at 233 speed, all pretty much as much speed as I could get on him. And he was just cycling through and doing work. I've got him here, not even ascended all the way. I had just gotten him. Ninja's still level 50, but my best key on Brutal at the time. Cardiel's in the team again, miscreated my ally protection champion, and this might have been Eurogrim even before the nerf happened. Not long after, I ended up getting Jareg, and you guys can see Jareg and a level 60 ninja really improved my Brutal team. And Cardiel making my first 3-key Ultra Nightmare team a huge success. Him and Skull Crusher were kind of, you know, super instrumental, and then it was my double ally protect with Ninja keeping Ninja alive, and his heals. I didn't have anyone in lifesteal. I didn't use lifesteal like on my account at all because of Cardiel. Just crazy the amount of stuff that he did, the heals and everything. So just what an amazing champ. Here's my floor 90 team on normal. Again, it was that team with Jareg instead of a second Vogoth, but you can see clearly he carries the team here with the damage and heals, but he's just so good and so much content. Cardiel is so good early to mid to late to end game, and he will carry your account no matter where you are. He ages like fine wine, where the fact of the matter is content like Iron Twins and Sand Devil and Hydra are all things that came out after he was made, and he still is just fantastic for him. I know for Sand Devils, his A1 and his passive might throw it off a little, but the fact of the matter is he still gives you a revive on death on a 3-turn cooldown. If you guys want more showcases, please let me know what champions you're interested in. If I don't have the champ, I'm sure someone in my clan has them, and they'd be more than willing to let me go on their account and test them out. I want to make sure that these are the most useful champion showcases for you, so I've provided endgame content as well as some screenshots from previous times that I used Cardiel. If you guys like this kind of content, please let me know in the comments below. Make sure to let me know how you built your Cardiel and if I missed anything on this awesome champion. If you got nothing else for me, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.